It's the two dudes with the attitudes, let's go. On the Friday, you know what it is, man, they came to handle biz. Two dudes with attitudes, and they came to get it in. If you wanna hear it all, yeah, you in the right place. Going through the highs and lows at a pretty calm pace. This is where they talk to all elite, Dynamite and Rampage. All the other news on your timelines or your page. Shooting star press like it's mad side down. MWO, and yeah, they here to hold it down. Had to kick a rhyme just to tell you about the show. From the TikToks or the shorts, they will bring the smoke. And yeah, it's the dudes like it's Sean and it's Diesel. Live on the Twitch, YouTube for the review. For the love on the platform you using. 5-star rating now, there is no excuses. Welcome back or welcome for the first show. Two dudes with the attitudes, time to work, bro.
What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. And as you can tell by that awesome theme song, AEW edition. And if you're watching on video, you can tell by this awesome background Shooting Star Press has made. It's all elite today, baby.
That's right.
All elite. And we can ask each other how our days are going, but I feel like we have a lot of stuff we got to go through. We got predictions, we got other things, and we got to talk about one thing. There is supposedly a war going on tonight. A war. It is Friday night, and we have SmackDown, which airs every Friday night, going up against not only Collision, well, just Collision, right? It's 2 hours, not Rampage. Rampage will be after, which I thought was a good idea because Rampage is going to have MJF speak or whatever. So that's going after Dynamite, so our Collision, excuse me. But I want to say before, and I'm not throwing this at you, any shade at people on TikTok who's all calling it the Friday Night War, because I know you guys aren't really meaning it. But when we did it the Wednesday Night Wars and now the Friday Night Wars, and we did like a Monday, it was a Tuesday night. I'm like, okay, guys, the Monday Night Wars were wars because they were legit battling for like supremacy, like WCW, WWE, 83 weeks straight. It was like, that was a legit war. It was personal. These aren't wars. These are just Collision happened. No. Collision's going to get aired on the same time as SmackDown. It's going to get freaking destroyed. I mean, SmackDown pulls over 2 million. That's the highest rated wrestling show, period. It's not even, Collision's probably going to pull like 200,000 tonight.
I will say I was a little surprised that Tony Khan hasn't announced that, tonight's first 30 minutes of Collision will be commercial free. And we're going to hear from, MJF, and we're going to have Christian Cage, and we're going to have a contract signing, and whoever this mystery person that they said on Dynamite was going to sign their contract. Why not have him sign on Collision? To compete with Friday Night SmackDown. I think he's accepting defeat. I think because he knows he's going to get destroyed, and there's really not much they can do because SmackDown's not even doing anything. They're not bringing The Undertaker on. They're not bringing Roman Reigns on. No John Cena. They don't need to.
No, this is. But here's the thing.
I think Tony Khan's admitting defeat.
But this is self-inflicted. Why would you could have had, I know Wednesday was the buildup, but Wednesday's so far away. And nonetheless, I thought Dynamite ended probably the best Dynamite has ever ended. And I've been saying it should end that way instead of the way they normally end their Dynamites. But nonetheless, you want to hype up Full Gear. I mean, you're still having people pay for your pay-per-view product, unlike other like WWE where they stream it. So you're already paying for that. You don't have to be fully invested in the fact of the card. You're going to watch it no matter what. But with AEW Full Gear, you got to put things on the butts and seats, right? I mean, there's still seats open. I check all the time to the event I am going. Ching-ching. I will be at Full Gear. I will keep everyone updated.
Yeah,
but
I wish I could be here.
I know, but it's all good. We'll go to Mania. They just announced the Mania double or the triple feature. We got to talk about that. We got to get those, figure out that because they're doing like a whole one package for all three events. But nonetheless, I think it's weird. Like, it's not like the Forum has anybody. There's no sporting events there anymore. It's just concerts and shows. Were they booked on Sunday? Like, I don't understand why he put this on Saturday when all their pay-per-views are on Sundays. It just seemed like
I think it's because
is it?
I think there's a Rams game on Sunday, and they share the parking lot.
I'm going to it. Yeah.
Is
that why? So
I'm sure that's probably what it is because traffic's
All right.
already bad out there. Just imagine traffic for a wrestling event and a football game at the same time. And I know that the game's probably, I don't know what time the game is, but
it's at 1 o'clock Western time. So it's
that's
going
like
to be
4:30
4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And the event Full Gear is what, 4 o'clock too. So
yeah. So that makes sense, I guess. Yeah. So they had to
but still, you couldn't have moved it. And then I guess next week is
do a different
Series.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why not do last weekend then? Or
do the Saturday Night Wars and do Survivor Series head to head with Full Gear.
Yeah. Right. But they could have done it next weekend and did it on Sunday. So that's, you can have, they do that all the time. So why not next weekend? And the Rams, they don't play at home next weekend. I'm going to the Rams game. So that would have helped me out. It's Rams Seahawks, baby. That would have helped me out because I could have just walked right across the street. They're literally like touching. Like when you go to the Forum, they'll sell seats, parking seats at the SoFi and vice versa. Oh, you went? Yeah, for me. Yeah.
You walked through the parking lot.
We walked over there. Yeah. But anyway, nonetheless, there's no war. And let's bring up one more quick thing. They announced, or Tony Storm announced. Who announced? Somebody announced that there's a big signing coming up. Are you try to throw it out there on who it is? Is it nobody? I'm assuming it's nobody. All their announcements are stupid. So it's probably some indie.
They said it's going to be somebody that's well respected by everybody in the locker room. The only thing I can think of is that it's
CM Punk,
Mercedes Moné, or Will Ospreay. Those are the only two for me that make any sense whatsoever. But I have a feeling it's going to be somebody like Ronda Rousey or somebody like CM Punk.
She is still wrestling.
Or Hulk Hogan. Yeah, she showed up at a Ring of Honor event. Yeah, or something not a Ring of Honor event, but like an indie show that AEW that Swerve Strickland was at, and Hangman Page showed up and beat up Swerve Strickland at this event. It was Wrestle Revolver or Revolve Wrestling or something.
Yeah.
So she showed up for that.
So I could see the irony. This is why I'm thinking it could be a Hogan, a Ronda, or a CM Punk, just for the fact that he had to make a point that they're well respected. So I think that's like irony going on. But I'm assuming it's somebody to go with Sting, because what I'm saying is that none of those people are well respected behind the scenes. But I think it's somebody, again. It's going to be another old WCW guy for Sting to have on tour with him, with Ric Flair.
Goldberg.
It could be Goldberg, although I know my friend knows Goldberg personally, and Goldberg constantly says that hates wrestling. He wants nothing to do with wrestling, this and that. I've been trying to, just so you know, I've been trying to talk him into being on this podcast. So my boy's been in work. He's been talking to Goldberg about it and this and that. And I told him, if you're on it, we can talk shit about wrestling, bro. We can talk about whatever you want if you're on our show. We don't talk about anything. We can talk about how much you hate wrestling, how they forced you to do it. You can talk crap about Eric Bischoff, who I like, Vince McMahon, Triple H, whatever you want. If you want to be on this show, imagine getting Goldberg. But anyway, you ready? You ready to get this party started?
As ready as I'll ever be. Let's do it, man.
All right. We start with Friday last week, Rampage. And I thought Rampage was the best show
I did too.
out of the three. But I want to talk about a man, and that man is Ricky Starks. He had a match against Preston Vance, the man who used to wear a mask and who I used to think was a luchador, and I guess he was just wearing a mask for fun. He was a normal white dude. But nonetheless, he had a match against Preston Vance. It was fine. It was whatever. I mean, my thing is that Ricky Starks on Rampage, you see him on a Rampage. This dude is over. Ricky Starks is the man. And the reason why I'm bringing up Ricky Starks in this Rampage, because he was even getting cheered and loved and respected and booed, all sorts of emotions on this Rampage episode, wrestling Preston Vance. And when they paired him up with Big Bill, I got excited because I thought it was going to be a two dudes with attitudes type vibe. Then they gave them the tag team belts, and now it just kind of seems like he's just in a tag team, and he's the champ, but he's not really wrestling in a tag team. He's just having single matches all the time. And here's my thing with you and my dilemma. I 100% think MJF is gone. I don't think he's sticking around. So whether he leaves in the early 2024 or signs an extension and leaves sometime in 2000, he's going to WWE. And so with that said, I've seen comparison. I forgot what podcast it was where they talked about who was more important, MJF or Roman Reigns. And people were saying, well, if Roman Reigns left, would it hurt? Sure. But the WWE would thrive and survive because they do now currently without him. They can figure it out, right? If MJF leaves AEW, they're fudged. There's no ifs, ands, maybes about it. And I don't know behind the scenes. I don't know if MJF and TK, they've already agreed or blah, blah, blah. Maybe he is sticking around. I think it's 100% he's leaving. I don't see why MJF would stay at all. But MJF, if he is leaving and you even think as TK, even you have a slither of thinking he might leave, why are you not building your next MJF? And Ricky Starks is that next MJF. And I think Rampage proved it, man. I think he's on the C show and he's getting treated like a freaking superstar on the C show. And I know it's pre-recorded and there's
this one was live.
Yeah. Oh, this one was live. So that's even more so. And he's getting popped, man. I mean, Ricky Starks is that dude. Why are we having him on a tag team? And that might lead to my predictions later, but why are we having him on a tag team? Why not just have him be that freaking HBK? He has the Shawn Michaels look from the Heartbreak Kid heel while Big Bill does the dirty work. He helps him win matches. He defends him, let him win a title, build him as a star. He can replace MJF and we can have Big Bill be Wardlow and turn on him and build that in the future too. I mean, you have so much going on here. I just feel like we're wasting Ricky Starks away, especially when he can be that next guy. I think he's ready. I don't think we even need to build up Ricky Starks anymore. I think he's that dude right now. I personally do.
See, I think it's
a long rant. Sorry. Yeah,
no, I think it's the other way around. I think MJF is sticking around and Ricky Starks is leaving to go to the WWE. There's rumor that his contract's up next year too, and that he was really tight with Cody Rhodes. He was at the Royal Rumble earlier this year when Cody made.
Who's he friends with? Is he only friends with Cody? I thought he was friends with somebody else too.
Oh yeah, Cody. He's friends with. I'm sure he's friends with Jade. I'm sure he's friends with one CM Punk. If CM Punk
I thought he was friends with somebody in WWE though, not Cody. Okay, so it was Cody.
He might be, yeah. But I know that he was really, really close with Cody Rhodes, and that's he's the reason that when Cody was at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, when there was a picture of Ricky Starks backstage at a WWE event, and I think that's the reason he was there to see Cody Rhodes. And there's a rumor that when his contract runs out, that he's going to be out the door and going to WWE. So maybe that's what they're doing this, and they're putting him in this tag team, giving him a tag team championship, and then this is kind of his sayonara to AEW. But I think it's the other way around. I think MJF is going to stay because he's a big fish in a small pond in AEW, where he would be going swimming with sharks at WWE. And then I think Ricky Starks might be the one that leaves and goes to WWE, go back with Cody.
And I don't want to keep getting into this because we have so much to talk about. We don't want to waste all of our time on Rampage, but Maxwell's also really close to Cody Rhodes.
That's true too.
And if there's one thing I know about MJF, and I don't know him personally, obviously, I mean, we have lunch together every once in a while, but I don't know him personally.
You'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna go hang out with some ladies at the bar. Two single dudes hitting the streets. But Maxwell Jacob Freeman loves to challenge himself. And that's why I see him going to WWE. Not only does he love to challenge himself, but I think in real life, he personally wants to be the man. You will never be the man in AEW. You will only be the man in WWE. So I just feel like there's just too many signs. Like I said, can I picture him signing an extension, sticking around a little bit longer, helping? Because I feel like he's a real good guy in real life, and he wouldn't just dog AEW like that. Like, I don't see him taking the title to WWE, but I also do see him taking the title to WWE. But if MJF goes and Ricky Starks goes,
they're done.
We might as well start trying to hype up NWA and TNA because it's done. Yeah, that's a fork. Yeah, for sure.
NWA may be done with their little Coke spot that they did at their pay-per-view recently that lost their TV deal, and that's why NXT is going to the CW.
Yeah, well, supposedly that wasn't true. Did you hear that? There was the news that came out that CW even said that they were never in the running. It was supposed to be like a Billy Corgan documentary show, and people took that and said it was NWA, but supposedly NWA was never supposed to be on the CW. But I don't know. It is what it is.
But let's talk
Don't listen to Dave Meltzer, kids.
Yeah, let's talk about something else. That did you know that the month of November is no neck November? And
I thought it was no shave November because I was doing it. I'm growing it out for a reason.
Yeah, no according to one Roderick Strong, it is officially no neck November.
All right.
And he cut a promo on Rampage, and I gotta say, I was kind of Roderick Strong for me is kind of a roller coaster. I didn't like him at first. Then his little gimmick started growing on me a little bit with the neck strong and the neck brace and getting out of the wheelchair at inopportune times to hit a suplex on somebody and then get back into the wheelchair and pretend to be hurt. And then his promos with Adam and all that, like, it's so good. But then this promo that he was doing, it felt a little too much. It was like, Glenn! And then his backstage stuff, he's like, I have, guess who's going to be my first victim? And everyone's like, who? And it's Darius! Like, he's like overemphasizing everything. It's funny when he does it to Adam because it's annoying and shrieky and just kind of like, ugh. But when he's doing it at the end, when he's talking normally, and then he's like, Darius, it's just a little too much. And I wasn't feeling it. But I do like what they're doing with Roderick Strong. The Kingdom had a match against a bunch of nobodies, and they squashed them. And then afterwards, Roderick Strong, at one point during his promo too, which was funny, he was like, guys, slow down. I get scared. It was just like his little one-liners and stuff are pretty, the little chicken
down
shit.
The ramp,
yeah. He's like, guys, slow down. I get scared. And then after the Kingdom does their thing and they beat the Jobbers, Roderick Strong takes off his neck brace, climbs into the ring. I love the reaction from Nigel McGuinness where he's talking about the valiant effort and all the heroism from one Roderick Strong for standing up and getting into the ring despite his ailment. It's all good stuff, but the promo itself to me was just a little too much.
Yeah, I think this one was, but I think he made it up on Collision, which we're not even going to talk about him, but he made it up on Collision with his match. I thought it was
that match was
Collision.
Good.
And not only was it good, but I think we forget how talented Roderick Strong really is. I mean, when he was over at NXT with Adam Cole and everybody, I mean, that faction was, in my opinion, the best faction in NXT ever, easily. I don't think it's even close. I wish right now they would still be together. They work so well together, but I know, but Roderick Strong is just, he does it. When you get a stupid gimmick and it started off stupid, but you have somebody doing it who's talented, they can get it over. And he has done that because it is getting over. I like the fact that after he wins the match, he runs back over and like they put it on and he's just, like shaking and that's hard to do, man. Like he's pulling it off well, but I do agree with you. They just stick to the Adam. We don't need it to be everything. Every word is stupid. Yeah. But
I do like his commitment to the bit too, because apparently he's like walking around the airport and stuff with his neck brace on. And he's sitting in the airplane. Like there's like pictures of him on the internet wearing his neck brace. So he's committed to it. And I respect it. And he's one of those guys that can he's kind of like Kevin Owens. He's got this knack to turn chicken shit into chicken salad, and this is something that I don't think was expected to be as popular as it is, but he's made it work.
And No Neck November, man, give it up to Roderick Strong and Otis, No Neck November, baby, because he has no neck. All right, let's get into Saturday on Friday. It's Collision, baby, and man, I feel we're previewing two shows or reviewing two shows that we're literally going to be on tonight. Don't forget to change the graphic, but Collision. So let's get into it. I talked about a certain person named Ricky Starks that I thought was needs more on Rampage, and I want to talk about Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne got a win, and Nick Wayne, the brother of Bruce Wayne, Batman, for all you people that don't know out there. But Nick Wayne got a win, and I know this is probably like a whatever to people. I mean, for one, great win against Dalton Castle. I saw people complaining about it because I guess Dalton Castle's fighting for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship match. Now he's like the number one contender. Then he went and lost to Nick Wayne. Yeah, I don't know. That's I don't know. I don't watch ROH, but so Nick Wayne got the win. People got upset about that. But
I thought Jarrett was the number one contender.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so maybe it's like one or the other. Maybe he's fighting for the one that relinquished. I don't know. But either way, Nick Wayne got a win and a win against a good guy. Dalton Castle's talented. He's awesome. It was like a 9-minute match. It did what it needed to do. But what I liked about it was that if you're going to pair people up, right? Like when AEW does that right. They get a whole bunch of nobodies and they pair them up with Jericho and so on. And now they're doing it with Christian Cage and he's getting Luchasaurus over. But if you're going to get these guys over, they got to wrestle. So I like that not only did Nick Wayne wrestle and beat somebody who I think is a very talented man, but at the same time, the announcers were hyping him up, man. And it was good. They had some nice touches in that match where they talked about his physique and that his physique, he looks bigger and buffer, and that's all because of Christian Cage and putting in that time. And those little things are going to make fans think, oh man, Nick Cage is looking bigger. Oh, he is looking badder. Oh, Christian Cage is doing. And that's how you build a star and build an up-and-comer. And if they really believe in Nick Wayne, I think this was the perfect start to the build of him with Christian Cage and so on. So, I mean, you can't have Christian Cage with Luchasaurus and only Nick Wayne, and Nick Wayne's a little punk and gets beat up all the time, and you think they're going to like, you know what I mean? And this was perfect before Full Gear as well in that triple threat. So maybe Nick Wayne won't look as much of a weak link at the moment. So I like too that he's like kind of got that stare. He's not being all kiddie anymore. He just looks kind of intense, and you know, hopefully Christian Cage is going to help him how to cut a promo, and sky's the limit, man. What is he, like 14 years old? I mean, he's got a bright future.
There's a missed opportunity there because you kind of had a slip of the tongue when you called him Nick Cage with Christian Cage being his father now. He should change his name to Nicolas Cage, and he should come out. He kind of looks like Nicolas Cage.
He does kind of actually.
He should cut like a promo, be like, "Whoa," you know, like typical Nick Cage way.
And he could try to get the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
that's like his goal. He's
rip
like,
take his face off and go after John Travolta. Yeah, it's a great movie.
If y'all ain't seen Face Off, watch it today. That movie
it's the best
is
action movie
classic.
of all time. Yeah.
They both should have been nominated for Best Actor in that year, and they were thinking about it and they didn't do it. But holy cow,
yeah, they should have been. It was great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
continue.
Awesome, but yeah, he should totally be. He should totally be Nicolas Cage. I think that would be awesome to kind of live up to the gimmick of Christian Cage being his father.
I swear to you, in 3 weeks, that's happening. Watch. AEW listens to our podcast. That's happening.
Yeah, he's going to be Nick Cage. But no, I think everything you said is on point. He looked like a stud. He looked good in that match. He looked a lot more serious. He looked a lot less fanboyish, and he looked like he belonged in AEW. He looked like he belonged in the wrestling ring, and he looked good. And that's exactly what you want to do. AEW has this tendency to have people lose right before a major pay-per-view. They see Cassidy, Orange on Dynamite. You know, they have people. They have some of their talent lose right before, and I don't think Nick Wayne, now I want to call him Nick Cage. Now I don't think Nick Wayne or Christian Cage or even Luchasaurus could afford a loss right before Full Gear. So I think this was perfect. This was a good match. It was a good showcase of his ability. The commentating team putting him over was strong. Christian Cage didn't say anything because this was the Nick Wayne opportunity for him, and I thought he showed out. I thought it was great.
Word.
But let's get to something that I don't know how I feel about, and that's another bombshell announcement from one Anthony Khan, and that is the announcement with Bryan Danielson in an eye patch, or because apparently he broke his orbital bone and he has his eye bandaged up.
It was like a wrap, not like that.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Yeah, it was really odd, but and if that's a serious injury, then I hope Bryan Danielson's okay. But anyway,
Cage again.
Yeah, Brian Cage. I know. And there's a Brian Cage too. He should.
There is, yeah.
They should start like a Cage family. A Cage family.
The Addams family and the Cage family. They'll duel it out. But anyway, go in. And then he had two announcements, right?
Yeah, get the Page family too. You got Diamond Dallas Page, Adam Page.
We're gonna bring back DDP. Right.
There's another Page out there. Oh, Page.
Page, yeah. Well, that's not her name anymore, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Tony Khan had an announcement that they are bringing
two, correct?
Yeah.
Did he make two now? Oh, he just rehashed his. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. He has he put something on Twitter about the major signing, the bombshell signing that's going to sign their contract at Full Gear on Saturday, and we don't know who it is. It's Hogan or somebody along those lines. But the other big announcement that he made was they are doing the Continental Classic. They are bringing back yet another tournament that's going to cap off at the end of the year pay-per-view called AEW World's End, which will air on December the 30th. And he's also pleased to announce, I guess this was the second announcement. He did have two announcements. The first announcement is the Continental Classic. It's a round robin tournament that's going to, I guess, start after Full Gear and cultivate at the final pay-per-view, with the finals being at World's End. And the other announcement is that the first entrant of the Continental Classic is one Bryan Danielson. And Bryan Danielson, against all odds with his broken eye and everything, will be competing in the first round match against an opponent to be named later in the Continental Classic. And then they turn the mic over to Bryan Danielson, and he is putting AEW over, to his credit, saying that nobody does professional wrestling like All Elite Wrestling. He was really hamming it up for one Tony Khan right there, talking about how this is the greatest tournament ever. Nobody does tournaments like AEW. This is going to be the best thing in the world. And
with TK booking.
Yeah.
He said that. He made that mark.
With Tony Khan booking it. Yeah. Under Tony Khan's direction. Yeah. It's going to be an incredible event or something along those lines. But another tournament, that's like, we just had a tournament to figure out the number one contender for MJF's world title, and it was Samoa Joe. We had the Owen Hart Invitational tournaments for the both men and women. Now we're having another one, and they didn't say what this tournament is for. So what does the winner get? Why should I, as a viewer, care about this upcoming tournament? And hopefully they'll give us more information going forward, but I don't know. This just another, I'm glad that he didn't pre-announce that he had a major announcement, because I would be flaming him right now, but this was just another dud of an announcement. You can't put this on social media or something. Can't do a press release. We don't need to have an announcement about this. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm happy to see Bryan Danielson back, but he's got to stay healthy too.
No. So TK likes three things in life, right? Old wrestlers from WCW and WWE. He likes tournaments, and he likes pointless announcements. And we covered 2 out of the 3 on this thing. For one, I get that Tony Khan is the money guy and he gets to do what he wants, but he has to have people who are in his ear, right? Investors or whatever, or people who are guiding him. Keep him off the flippin'. He's not even an in-ring character. Like Triple H, who's an actual character, isn't on the screen nearly as much as Tony Khan. Like, he's on my screen every freaking week. Is this because he knows he's done and that AEW is leaving soon, and so he's trying to get as much like TV time as he possibly can because he doesn't get it on the Jaguars? Is he going to be quarterbacking when Trevor Lawrence takes a hit later on in the season? Like, I don't understand what's going on with this, but why is TK on my freaking screen? He's uncomfortable. He looks like a freaking idiot. Like, he just looks like an idiot. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to pick on nerds or whatever, but he just looks like a guy who you take his lunch money, and he just looks uncomfortable for how rich he is. Like, I don't know, get a haircut. He just looks like a freaking moron up there. He can't speak. It'd be different if he could like deliver a promo. It was embarrassing listening to him talk and listening to Daniel Bryanson talk. He was like reading off the teleprompter. You can't even memorize your lines. Don't go on the screen if you can't memorize your lines. It's just a hot mess. I'm sick of him being on my screen. And I was irked by Daniel Bryanson licking his butthole because Daniel Bryanson is a WWE guy. And he even said he still loves everybody over there, that he only left because it was best for his life and his future and what he needed. No hard feelings. Now, all of a sudden, TK's the best booker in the biz and TK's the greatest thing. So it was all a huge miss for me. And it was, once again, anytime I hear at the opening of a show that Tony Khan has an announcement, I just go, ugh. And that's not how it should be. When I hear Triple H has an announcement, I go, yippee. When I hear TK, I go, ugh. And that's a problem. Stay off my freaking screen. Stay off of all of our screens. You're not helping AEW in any way, shape, or form. And these announcements, there's a reason why we have social media.
This could have been done on social media.
And then you flash it on, and you have your announcers who know how to speak, talk about it. Stay off our freaking screen. This is like, it's a waste of time. And once again, you're taking away how many other people could have wrestled on Collision during this 10-minute pointlessness that you talked about. It's just stupid. It's all stupid. I'm over it. I thought it was I'm literally over it.
No, I completely agree. This was a dud of an announcement. Like, Tony Khan, come back when you have a streaming service in place. That's an announcement you make on TV, and tell us how to access it. Tell us when it goes into effect, what will be on it, what or pay-per-views included, or do we have to pay extra? Like, that's an announcement that needs to be made on TV. So until then, enough with these dud announcements, and just stay off our screen, like you said.
I don't know why he thinks it helps the business in any way, shape, or form. But let me talk about someone who does help the business, and that's the You know, I love the ladies, Shooting Star Press. I've been newly
yeah.
single, and I love the ladies then. I love them even more now. I'm all for women empowerment, but also just that women are the most beautiful and gorgeous creatures on this earth. And I have to say, I have a new favorite. I've been on the Selena Vega. I got Trish Stratus. I've been promoting women all over my TikTok
Rhea
and stuff,
Ripley.
but I got a new Rhea Ripley's my mommy forever. But I have a new sexiest woman in wrestling, and that is one Julia Hart. And I know it sounds weird because this girl's only 22 years old, ladies and gentlemen, but holy guacamole. Julia Hart is a star. Here's why. 1, super sexy. 2, ring gear. 3, she has a great character. Her character is intense. The long nails, her entrance, it goes black. All of a sudden, she's on the ropes, standing there. It's just everything about her is just from when you think about her being a cheerleader when she first got there to where she is now. Holy crap. And not only that, but she's getting better and better and better in the ring quickly. That match she had with Willow was a match, bro. She is getting very, very good in the ring. And her and House of Black, it's like a win-win situation. Everything about Julia Hart right now screams star. And I'm going to say it right here and right now. If things go right at Full Gear and she is promoted correctly, she will save the AEW women's division. I'm saying it right now. This girl's a freaking star, bro. The end. That's all I got to say. Good. She is. The end. And she's 22. She's 22. Her prime is 9 years away. She is 22. Yeah. 22. Think of that.
I just hope that the booking, the man that we were just talking about, Tony Khan, doesn't squander what he has in front of him, because he has a golden ticket in Julia Hart. And if he pisses it away because, he's got a vendetta, or he doesn't know how to book the women's division, or if he gives her the Ruby Soho treatment where she loses every match that she's in now, it's because she gets flowers in the middle of the match. Like, it's just
that was so stupid. Forgot about that.
But like, I don't.
Who let the 1-800-Flowers delivery guy into the arena to walk down the ramp into he's like, no, I got one delivery for the Ruby Soho at this time in the ring.
And then why wouldn't they just be like, oh, I'll take them, thank you, and that's it? Why are they like, oh, she's that way? I'm gonna go deliver flower. I'm gonna be a flower delivery guy at the next AEW event and see if I can get backstage.
I'll do it this Saturday. See if you see me on the pay-per-view. Yeah.
See if you get back.
Special delivery.
but no, Julia Hart has it going on. She has a huge opportunity ahead of her with the TBS championship. I do like the story that they're telling too, with her and Sky Blue.
So much.
Yeah, like everything is going well with that, with the spitting the mist in her face, and is she going to join the House of Black? So they're actually doing little things right with her, and I'm curious to see what they do. We'll see what happens. They just cannot piss this opportunity away. And knowing AEW and how they do the women's division, the fact that there's 9 matches at Full Gear and only 2 women's matches, that tells you everything you need to know. But Julia Hart's a stud, and
I agree.
They need to build that women's division around her.
Yes, sir.
And then for me, we had the trio's debut of Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland. And they open up Collision with the announcement that, what do you get when you get an icon, an iconoclast, and a daredevil walk into a wrestling ring together? And you get someone who's going to get their ass kicked or something like that. And then Sting was like, it's showtime. And it led to, his typical thing. And then they had their match against the Jake Roberts, Bray Wyatt family, with Lance Archer. And I mean, the match was fine. But this did what it was supposed to do for me. It was you're supposed, if Christian K or if Adam Copeland and Sting and Darby Allin had lost this match, I'd be having some serious questions. But Christian Cage's group, Nick Wayne, looked strong earlier in the night, and I thought Adam Copeland and his team looked strong in this match. I hate that they did this though, because they just put the Jake Roberts with Righteous last week. And they made it this huge deal that Jake Roberts has new clients with the Murder Hawk monster Lance Archer, and then the first week back they lose, and it's just like, okay, why'd you make it such a huge deal that these guys are teaming with Jake Roberts now, and just to have them lose week in and week out, just like they teased up this huge thing that Lance Archer was coming back last week and he lost. Makes it, that's the only thing I don't like, but other than that, the match was fine, and it was a solid debut, but we'll get into our predictions later about what's going to happen in that match with Christian Cage and Lucha and Nick Wayne. But this was a decent match. It was better. I thought this match was better for Adam Copeland than his debut match against Luchasaurus.
Yeah, and all right, let me start with the bad. One, like you said, you don't build up a faction to have them lose instantly. It's so stupid. I don't know. Secondly, don't book Sting, Edge, and Darby in a match against people you know are gonna win. I mean, at least put them like in a competitive match where you thought they might. Like, there is somebody else who's more impactful that they could have won maybe, and they could take an L, unlike the Righteous and the Murder Hawk Lance Archer. The other thing I didn't like was Lance Archer comes down to the ring and knocks out every security guard.
Yeah.
And then goes into the ring, and I was like, what the like I was and then literally when the match starts, the two security guards are sitting back up because obviously they need to do their job. It was the dumbest, like, I don't know. There's just certain things in wrestling where I'm like, I get that this is entertainment, but when you just take us so out of the, like, really, like, imagine me at work and I just walk up and knock out two security guards and then just go into my classroom and continue to teach. Like, you can't just, like, I don't know. It's so, and they were comparing him to somebody I forgot this, what he used to do back in the 80s, beat up. Well, the 80s were a different time. But anyway, that's all the bad. The good, good stuff. Fun match. Was it just me, or did I? Every time they showed Darby, I kept thinking that he was an aerobics instructor. It looked like he had a sports bra on, and with his like shorts, tight pants combo that he wears, I literally. The entire match, I kept thinking, like, wait, who is she? And it was like, I was like getting, that sports
Barbie Allin.
It literally went around his boobs. And then he has that stupid outfit where he wears yoga pants with shorts. Makeup. I literally, like, I kept getting confused. I was like, wait, is that a chick? Oh, that's Dark. I was getting thrown off. Dude, don't wear a sports bra with yoga pants on national TV. You look like it's just, it's like when the soccer players take off their jerseys and they wear these sports bras now. It's just so, it's like always throws me off. I'm like, wait, why are you wearing a sport? Because it's supposed to like enhance their whatever better. But I'm like, dude, like, I don't know. Keep your jersey on if you're wearing a sports bra. And I'm not even like that. You can wear whatever the heck you want. I'm all for it. I mean, I don't care if Darby Allin wore a dress every single day. You do you, my man. You wear whatever you want. But actually, remember when Goldust used to wear a dress? I actually really like that gimmick. But anyway, nonetheless, Daniel, and when Lexus King's dad, Brian Pillman, wore a dress. Remember, he had to wear a dress after he lost to Stone Cold, I believe, and he had to wear a dress. Good stuff. But anyway, nonetheless, it was a good match. Did what it needed to do, I guess, to build them up. But like, it's not like after this match, I was like, dang, these three are like legit. It's wrong triple threat pairing. All right, let's get into Dynamite. You ready?
Always.
And like I said, I was impressed with this. I give AEW so much flack for having Dynamites not build up their pay-per-views properly. I actually thought almost everything that happened on Dynamite, almost everything, 80% of the stuff that happened on Dynamite was the perfect build for what's happening in Full Gear. And I got a little worried because I hadn't seen MJF, and I was like, oh shoot, are they like not having him on here? They did me right. But I want to start off with something that I actually thought they wanted to build, and it was done incorrectly. And that's the opening match. So we have Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy. And to throw you back, Orange Cassidy was the international champion for about 7 years. And he wrestled his first real competition in Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley beat him. Last pay-per-view, correct? Mm-hmm. And he won. Moxley got concussed. And I guess he ended up thinking he was Tony Khan. So he rebooked the match and let Homeboy beat him. And Homeboy had the belt for like a couple weeks. Moxley was supposed to rematch. And I don't know if this was storyline or not, but he couldn't wrestle. They didn't tell us at all. Literally, Orange Cassidy came out and wrestled him. I don't even think they even let us know. And Orange Cassidy won back the international title. So they used it properly. Now Moxley is saying, you stole my shot. You did it because you're afraid to fight me. Orange Cassidy basically said, yes, I did steal your shot. And they've been having beef. They look like they want to fight each other like in real life. I believe it. Mox is so good at that, at making you think it's a real fight. Cassidy has now turned up the intensity, even with his little baby kicks and stuff. Now he turns it up when he does it. He's all business. So what should you do in this situation? If this was WWE, you know what they would do? They would have him not touch. You want the buildup and the anticipation to seeing what's going to happen. And as soon as Moxley comes out, and then Orange Cassidy, Moxley's going to run up that apron, and then they're going to bang, and you're going to be, or they're going to have them sitting in the ring and staring at each other, and the crowd's going to love it because you just want to see them rip each other apart because this is like real, and they want it. Nah, fam, leave it to TK. Let's have a tag team match and put Mox and Yuta versus Cassidy and Hook, and 4 seconds into the match, let's have Mox and Cassidy touch. If you're going to have them have a tag team match, at least keep them separated the entire match. Yeah. Like every time, like Mox, something happens. So the crowd, once again, I talk about the booking of TK all the time. And all these idiots online talking about he's the booker. He was never the booker of the year, just so you know, ever. But the fact that people are saying it this year is even, it just shows that you know nothing about wrestling. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I know enough I know when poor booking is happening. And this is poor booking. Like, why would you not have them not touch until the pay-per-view? I don't get it. And with that said, Mox no-sold most of his moves. And then he no-sold the orange punch. He hit him with his finisher, and Mox didn't even flinch. And that's how we end it. It was with Orange Cassidy, like, it was stupid. This, and I was like, oh my god, Dynamite is, maybe that's why I thought Dynamite was so good, because they started off so freaking awful that it only went up from there. But either way, holy crap, am I like just being a baby about that? I don't know. I thought I didn't get, and I don't know how this enhanced the match at all, because now you fear that Orange Cassidy can't win, and then he'll win. Once again, that's what we hate about Orange Cassidy. We want him just to wrestle and win, not have to be the
underdog every time.
Yes.
You know, the other reason I hated this too was you have a young, forget Orange Cassidy and forget Jon Moxley. This wasn't a good look for Hook either, because, you know, Hook took the pinfall, and Hook is, we talk like he's somebody that is in AEW. He's a champion, even though he's not recognized as a champion. He's got a title, but he's somebody that is an AEW, or he's a young star in AEW. He's up and coming. And this was like his first match really against somebody against the caliber of a Jon Moxley. He's been in tag teams with other people. And Wheeler Yuta. But Jon Moxley's a former world champion in AEW. This is his first like real high profile match. And, you know, you have him take a pinfall. You have him, it just, the whole thing, I wouldn't have even had this match on TV. You could have had it so Jon Moxley's fighting somebody else, and then Orange Cassidy and Hook beat up Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley, and they get separated, and then Moxley's match never happens, and then that's build the anticipation for that. But yeah, this whole thing, like, and then Moxley's promo at the end talking about how he's gonna rip Orange Cassidy apart, and he's gonna limb to limb, and there's not a damn thing he can do about it. Then he throws the microphone at.
Didn't he say he was gonna kill him? I'm pretty sure he said he's going to kill him. Like, I hate when they say kill. Like, really?
Yeah, it's fake. Like, it's pretend fighting, man. Like,
you're not going to. Even in UFC, I hate when they do it. Like, you're not going to murder. You're going to murder that. You better hope you don't, because then you're just going to jail for saying it. Like, I don't. Yeah, it's just stupid.
But I hated this match for all the reasons you said, but also because of you have a young star in Hook, and I don't think he looked this match didn't do him any favors either.
In my opinion, Hook's like Julia Hart. Dude's the future. Use like Ricky Starks.
Especially
Hook
if they
notch under Ricky Starks, like he build him up.
If they are going to lose MJF, and maybe they do lose Ricky Starks, Hook is the perfect person to kind of take that mantle. And you're having, and this was a good match for him to be in, yes, but it's still, I don't think it did him any favors.
No, he tapped out, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't look good. He didn't look like the dominant Hook that comes out, doesn't say a word, and beats people up.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't looked like that in a while, though. So,
Yeah. So for me, I want to talk. Let's get into the good, which was the
all right.
end of AEW Dynamite. The fact that it was over, that was the good. But no, I'm just kidding. The the final promo, because you said you were worried we weren't going to get MJF. They kept
Mhm.
saying we're going to hear from MJF, but then like we had the hour-long street fight, and then
Yeah.
we had like
Hour
5 minutes.
long.
We had like 5 minutes left of Dynamite. I'm like, maybe we're just going to get like a video package of MJF. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to get it. And then he finally came out and cut a promo. And, you know, the best promos to me are when MJF speaks from the heart. And
Mm-hmm.
this one was from the heart. He apologized to the Acclaimed and to Adam Cole for getting caught in the crosshairs that is MJF, that they didn't deserve it. And that, you know, he was pretty fired up. And, you know, he talked about how he's going to beat Jay White and he's going to retain his AEW World Championship. And then Jay White came out, and I thought Jay White did his thing too. He cut a really good promo, probably the best promo I've heard him cut in a long time. So I feel like this feud has brought out the best of Jay White, because I wasn't really feeling him before. And then this feud with MJF, you know, I don't want it to end, and I know it's going to end at Full Gear, but you know, Switchblade called him he said that MJF was the devil. He said that the people love MJF now, but he's no hero to them, and it's all a bunch of BS. He's not buying any of this stuff. Basically saying what Wardlow's been saying, that, you know, that there's more to it than what meets the eye with the devil. And then he did his typical, I'm going to beat you at Full Gear. This is going to be my title officially. And then he ended it with, I got 2 words. If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. And instead of saying guns up, he said, get them. And the Guns jumped into the ring, and Juice Robinson, and they laid out MJF, and they stood tall. And I thought this was a good way to close out the show. I thought this was, I thought it made both guys look strong, and the promo was good from MJF. Jay White's promo was good. They didn't touch, so, you know, we still really haven't. They've touched a couple of times, but they still,
but not really. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been kept separate for the majority of the time. So yeah, I thought this was the perfect way to build to Full Gear, and I am like ready for this match. I got to give AEW credit, because building pay-per-views is not a strength of theirs. And I feel like Full Gear might be one of the best built pay-per-views that they've had in quite a while. And I think a lot of it is because of this world title match. I mean, this match has been built perfectly.
Oh my gosh. And it's the only build he's really had since Daniel Bryanson. So
yeah,
it's nice to have him have a real good match. Yeah, and I'm glad I'm going. This card is like insane. But here's what I was talking about. What I always get mad at AEW and how they end their shows. They always put these like promos and the world heavyweight stuff like in a random promo, like in the middle of their show, and then they end it with some stupid match. They finally, like TK, like, hello, like, you copy WCW, learn from WCW. WWE's been doing this for you. You end before a pay-per-view, not with a match, with a promo and with the build to your main event. And they finally did that. And
they got it right.
Perfect. And they did it perfectly. And Guns being on top because they wrestle MJF, with Jay White on top because he wrestles MJF, and then with Samoa Joe lurking in the back being like, bro, pick me. It was all perfect, done so well. I loved it. I wanted to talk about too really quick that you added in the Wardlow thing, that Wardlow had a stupid promo again about the devil and blah, blah, blah. And then the devil appeared. And I thought that was a little weird because the devil has only really been appearing on people who support MJF, not hate him. I don't know what that's all about, but let's throw it out here right now. We both like the promo. Let's get it out. Who's the devil? Go. Are we finding out at Full Gear? Go.
I think, yes, I think we are finding out at Full Gear, and I think it's going to be Adam Cole. I want it to be CM Punk, and they reveal it at Full Gear because Dynamite's in Chicago next week. Everyone's talking about Survivor Series is in Chicago, but Dynamite's in Chicago too. And that's when we hear from Punk, but I think it's going to be Adam Cole.
It's 100% Adam Cole, and I think his injury was 100% a hoax. I think he jumped and landed that way. He's been faking it. I've seen no reports about him being in a hospital or doing. I think this has all been fake. I think this is 100% a ruse. I think it's Adam Cole. It's Roderick Strong and the Kingdom and possibly somebody else. Wink, wink, wink. As the fourth person, because there's 4 people beaten down. I think that's what it's all about. I think this is 100% Adam Cole, and we're going to find out. The only problem is if we find out at Full Gear, Doesn't he have to cost them the world title? I don't see how. So let's see where the predictions go. But anyway, with that said, I want to talk about another good thing on Dynamite, and that is Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland. You're talking about the best builds right now. This might be better. Yeah. It's at least the same. And it's funny because when they did the home invasion, I was like, ugh. Like, home invasions are so attitude error. I'll even give you Randy Orton and Triple H. It's just so, I don't buy into the fact that I don't buy into the fact that anybody can just walk into anybody's house anymore. I mean, it's just stupid. We have rings, we have cameras, we have security systems. This isn't like that 90s where you could just walk. I left my door unlocked. Like, who, like, so the fact that he walked into the house and the baby was there, but nobody else was, it was all stupid. But ever since that, this has been money. And I don't like Hangman Page's title run. I thought it was weak as shit. I didn't think he was ready to be the champion, but people did believe in him. And his promos that he has been cutting since then is why people thought he was that dude. And it shows that Hangman Page is a star. That dude, when he wants to cut promos, you don't believe me? Check a Punk, CM, because he left because of this promo, like because of a promo by Hangman. Hangman can cut a promo. He cut a beast one on Collision. He cut a good one on Swerve, where Swerve got so burned he couldn't even talk. And then Swerve couldn't touch him, and he beat up Prince Nana. He made fun of Prince Nana, saying he's using you. He's selling T-shirts off of you, doing the dance off your music. You're being used by everyone. But holy shit, if my prediction isn't correct after this, AEW once again is doing it wrong. So, but Hangman Page, man, this stuff is fire. And I'm not going to lie. I'm all about Jay White and MJF. I just feel like I already know who's going to win. On Saturday, I'm looking forward to Swerve and Hangman Page, dude. That's my most anticipated match on the card right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this match too. And I like the promo from Adam Page. And I like the little nugget that Hangman Page that Swerve Strickland came out first, and it made it seem like he was going to cut the promo and he was going to go after Adam Page. And Adam Page came out right away and took the mic out of his hand. And then, Swerve Strickland didn't even get a chance to respond. Because Adam Page was fired up, and this was probably the most impassioned Adam Page promo we've heard in quite a while. And he went there. He talked about his kids not liking Swerve Strickland. He talked about Swerve Strickland's fiance leaving him. I mean, he took some deep. He told that Prince Nana that he looks like the guy that buys weed from the kid at the gas station. And then
that was the best. Did you see Swerve bust? He broke character.
Yeah, he broke.
And then he was like, "Look at me, Swerve," because Swerve couldn't look at him because he was correct. Because he even said, "I'm gonna beat your ass and take your weed." And Swerve was
and the crowd was even chanting, "Take his weed, take his weed." And Prince Nana was like, "That's not true. That's not true." Yeah, all of it was so good. It was probably. That might be up there for promo of the year when we do our year-end awards, because this was a really good promo from Adam Page, and I'm excited about this match. I could do without the Texas Death Match. Like, we don't need that stipulation involved in it, but I wish it was just a standard one-on-one match. And I like that they're apparently. I said earlier that there was an indie event last night, and Swerve Strickland competed in it. It was like Wrestle Revolver. And Adam Page interfered in his match, and I think before the match could even start, and they were brawling, and they had security come break it up and everything. So I like that they're committing to it outside of AEW. I'm sure they'll talk about it all at the pre-show, the 0 hour, and they'll talk about it on Collision tonight and in Rampage. They'll show highlights from it. But this is you talk about a solidly built match. This is another one that AEW gets a thumbs up for.
I agree.
And I want to end it with a dud, which was the street fight. I don't even know. It was the Sega Genesis 64-bit Streets of Rage. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden Street Fight.
It wasn't Ninja Gaiden. It was like Tell Me Your Life.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden is goated as one of the best Genesis games of all time.
It really is. And I think it had that vibe. But continue. I'll find it here.
So Chris Jericho. So it was Chris Jericho, Paul White, Kenny Omega, and Ibushi against Brian Cage, who got borrowed by the Don Callis family, because Sammy Guevara is still now he's had his baby, I guess, and he's had his concussion, so he's out. So he got borrowed from Prince Nana and that group though, and it was Takeshita, Powerhouse Hobbs, Brian Cage and Kyle Fletcher. And Chris Jericho wearing a suit in this match, and Paul White wearing a suit in this match, and Kenny Omega's tights were dope. I mean, they had the Sega logo on it and stuff, but like he had a suit on at the beginning, and then he puts on wrestling gear. I'm like, Joe, not. And then like Ibushi's like oblivious. He's like just in his regular wrestling gear. He's not even in, doesn't even have any like Sega tights on or anything. But I mean, this match, it was hard. I hate it when they do these multi-man, multi-tag street fights and that go into the backstage. And, you know, Paul White got obliterated backstage by Powerhouse Hobbs to the point where he never even came into the ring. He wasn't even there to celebrate when his team won. You know, Powerhouse Hobbs, you know, got duct taped to the ring. There's Chris Jericho and Takeshita are fighting at the merch table again. It's just, these matches are just hard to follow because you have one guy backstage fighting another guy. Then you have like 6 guys in the ring fighting each other. And then you have a bunch of people fighting into the crowd. And then you have somebody in the parking lot and the camera's just going all over the place. And I appreciate what AEW was trying to do. It wasn't the worst street fight I've ever seen. I still put that with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one that Jeff Jarrett was in, or the other one that Jeff Jarrett was in with Eddie Kingston and the hot dog, mustard and ketchup. But this wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And I don't like these matches. I wish that they would stop. And then also, you really had to have Don Callis family lose. I get you got Kenny Omega, who's getting ready, and him and Chris Jericho are going after the tag team titles, #1 contendership match against the Young Bucks now, a newly turned heel Young Bucks on AEW at Full Gear. So you can't have, I get you don't want them to lose, but Powerhouse Hobbs, I mean, it didn't work with Team Taz. He got kicked out of that and got destroyed by Ricky Starks. And then he, you know, didn't work with QTV. Now he's on another faction with the Don Callis family, and they're losing to Jericho and Omega. And he looked like an idiot when he got duct taped and he couldn't get out of it. And I mean, that was a callback to the first time they wrestled when Kenny Omega was duct taped, but he kept breaking it, and it was because of the sweat. And at least this time the duct tape stuck, and they even duct taped his mouth shut, and then they pinned. Why? He got the pin on Brian Cage. Yeah. All of it was just, I don't know. It was just too much. And, you know, the match was fine. I just hate it when they do these things because it was just really hard to follow.
And I just want to talk about the match was whatever, but I just want to talk about the sponsorship thing because I've seen people praising it. Eric Bischoff praised it, saying, you know, you got to make money and this and that. But I was pretty sure TK was a billionaire. So how much money is he losing on AEW right now on a weekly basis that he needs to do these type of things? Because obviously they were dressed as the characters. They had merch. They rode a bicycle, which is obviously in the video game, which was the dumbest segment. He was like, like barely hitting people. And they were like, oh,
yeah, he's throwing bicycles.
Like I understand like when WWE does it, they have Chucky and he's like backstage, or they have like around the ring. It's like, this is the blah, blah, blah Skittles sponsor. And it has Skittles all over the ring, but they might throw Skittles at you, but like, to take it this far where you're like dressing up and doing it in the matches, this is like the 5th time AEW has done this. Like, if you need that much money, TK, to promote AEW as you're a billionaire, then maybe you need to give up on the wrestling biz. Because like, how much more money, like how much are you losing to have to succumb to this to make your wrestlers look like idiots by having these matches? I don't know. I don't like it at all. I don't buy it. I'm over it. And it's sad that we had to end Dynamite on that note because Dynamite was actually a pretty pleasant show, but
yeah,
that was stupid. I'm over it. But anyway, we have something going on Saturday, right? And it's Full Gear. And when we have an event coming up, we like to do some predictions. So before we do our predictions, hit that music, my man. Let's get into it.
Time. Before it ever happens, it's a prediction. Lean in close, take notes, listen. Cause they about to point it out quickly. All the things that you didn't see is getting called like plays at the line of scrimmage. You can take it to the bank, the dudes ain't tripping. They've been seeing what's coming for a good minute. It's prediction time, yeah, let's get it.
So dope.
That might be a better banger than our intro, dude. That was fire. But anyway, it's Full Gear prediction time. You ready to get into a, Shooting Star?
Always.
Let's go. We have the 0 hour. That's I think, created for MJF, so we can have 2 matches on these pay-per-views. The ROH World Tag Team Championship, we have MJF and mystery partner, or MJF and nobody. It looks like there's gonna be someone because they keep saying mystery partner, versus the hottest tag team in AEW right now, the Guns. Who you got? And who's the mystery partner? Let's go.
I think it's going to be MJF, and I'm going to say it's the mystery partner. It's going to be your boy Max Caster. I like your prediction that you made a couple weeks ago when you said that Max Caster was going to be the mystery partner for MJF. I think it's got to be. It's got to be Max and Max.
And who you got winning? You got to make a prediction.
Oh, MJF and Max Caster.
Yeah. All right. I agree. I think it's going to be. I think they're pushing Samoa Joe way too much. My only thing is that if he does pick Max Caster, does Samoa Joe interfere and cost him the match and have the Guns win it? I'm still going to go with MJF retaining, although I feel like he doesn't need that belt anymore. So what's the point? But if Adam Cole is the person, maybe he does. So I'm going to go with MJF as well. All right. We have a number 1 tag team contenders match. The newly healed, because everyone's turning a heel nowadays, Young Bucks defending their like Money in the Bank briefcasing it, where they are giving up their number 1 contenders match that they earned a year ago, versus the Golden Jets. Pew! They're the Golden Jets because they're old. They should be the Gray Jets. But anyway, we got Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Who you got?
I think Omega and Jericho are going to take it. I think that's the reason that the Young Bucks are putting their number 1 contendership on the line, is because they want Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho to win the tag team titles in the future. So I'm going to say Jericho and Omega.
All right. I'm going to go Young Bucks. Why not? I think they're going to go new heel, and maybe this will lead to who they're going to face in the tag team match later on. So I'm going to go Young Bucks, the newly
I want that to happen, but I have a feeling fresh off their street fight victory, Jericho and Omega are going to ride that wave of momentum. And
do they need it? That's
coast to victory.
I don't know. Yeah. All right. We got the TBS title match. Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart, hubba versus Sky Blue, who ain't too bad herself. I just want to throw out there that Chris Statlander, I've been saying that she is the wackest TBS champion ever. Did you see her promo on Collision? She would couldn't even get words out. Holy crap, was she not ready for this? But who you got? Let's go.
It's got to be Julia Hart. They have to put it on her. It's time. She's been going after this title for a while against Chris Statlander with Brody King. And it's got to be. It's time for her to have a title. And if she's going to be the face of the women's division, this is the perfect opportunity for her to do that.
All right. I got Julia Hart too. She shouldn't have lost to Chris Statlander the first time.
No.
Statlander is not it. I said she wasn't it. The way she won the title wasn't it, by beating a tired, Jade Cargill. All of it has been awful. She wasn't. I don't know what they were thinking. This girl is not. She couldn't cut a promo if MJF cut it for her. She's whatever in the ring. She doesn't have a good look. She's just awful. And nothing against her, but redo her and get her back out. Give her some promos training.
I think Sky Blue is going to join Julia Hart and go into the House of Black, she's going to help her win. They're going to have the match and everything, and Julia Hart's going to win. And then after the match, Sky Blue is going to join House of Black. That's what I'm thinking.
I like it. All right, let's go into the AEW tag team title match. Let's do that one. Let's go. It's Ricky Starks and Big Bill, and you can't teach that, versus FTR versus the House of Black, or as you like to call them, the Kings of the Black
Kings of the Black Throne
versus LFI. They're obviously going to win. Who you got?
I feel like they're setting it up for FTR to get their tag team titles back with their match on Rampage against whoever it was. Was it Roosh and somebody else? And and I feel like with Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho going out winning the number 1 contendership, we're going to get. We just saw a feud with Ricky Starks and Jericho. Probably not going to get that again. So I think we're going to get FTR versus the Golden Jets, and FTR is going to win the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
So that is why I thought Young Bucks were going to win, because they were going to have Young Bucks and FTR and how to switch it up, make Young Bucks could turn heel, FTR's baby faces. Now the match makes sense. But I'm going to, I think FTR is going to win, but I'm going to throw it out here. I'm going to go with the House of Black.
They should win.
Yeah. And I think Julia Hart and House of Black, they're gonna have all the gold, and that's what I'm going with. I'm going with the House of Black having
Judgment
a nice
Day
little night.
Yeah.
Yes, they are, and I think they should. So I'm gonna go with House of Black just for funsies. All right, let's go into the International Championship. We have the champ, Mr. Orange Cassidy himself, versus Jon Moxley. Who you got?
Jon Moxley. Unfortunately, I think Moxley was never supposed to lose this title in the first place, and he lost it because of his concussion, and then Rey Fenix hit him with the move again, and then again, and yeah. So I think Orange Cassidy, he was just kind of the rebound that, oh crap, we got to have a title change on the Tuesday Night War, and what a perfect person to do it for than Orange Cassidy. But this is Jon Moxley's championship, and he was never supposed to lose it, so I think he's going to win it back.
All right, so I'm going to go with my 100% theory that I think never fails. If you take an L before your match, you're going to win at the pay-per-view. So I'm going to go Orange Cassidy, and I think he's going to beat him with the orange punch. I think it's going to happen. I think they did want Moxley to have it forever, but I think Orange Cassidy has rejuvenated himself, and I think he needs a big win because he's never gotten it. And I think Orange Cassidy is more over than Jon Moxley. I'm going to say it. He's the future once again. Moxley's old, man. Yeah. I mean, he's that dude, and maybe Moxley can get a championship run again, but it is what it is. All right, Women's Championship, the AEW Women's Championship. We got Hikaru Shida versus Timeless Toni Storm. And will the match be black and white every single time Toni Storm gets offense in? Who do you got?
They should. It should be every time. They should just transition right to black and white, like the Wizard of Oz. I'm gonna say Toni Storm. Toni Storm's winning this women's title, and yeah, I think the Outcasts are going to get involved somehow. Saraya and Ruby Soho, and maybe we have another match with them in the future. But this is Toni Storm's title to win. She's arguably the face of that women's division right now, and this is her belt to win.
I mean, you want to talk about another women's champion that's pointless and that I said should have never won it? That's Hikaru Shida, and the fact that she's a 3-time champion, the only one, is a joke. I don't get the love for her. I mean, she's a good wrestler and she's fun to watch, but to be a champion, you have to have more than that. I don't get it. I think Toni Storm has to win, and I don't get Toni Storm's character. I don't think AEW has done it correctly. I think it's stupid. If Marilyn Monroe became a wrestler, I don't see how that's anywhere good. I don't get it, but to each its own. People do get it. She is being loved, so she deserves that championship.
She's got a tune-up match tonight on Rampage too. So.
Yeah, she wanted a tune-up match. All right, we got Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland, Edge himself, versus the better version of Edge, Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, the walking dinosaur, and Nick Wayne. Who you got?
I'm going to go Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to pull it out. And I think it's going to be because of some heel tactics from Christian Cage. He's going to hit Adam Copeland with the title or something. And this is how we eventually get to Christian versus Adam Copeland at World's End or in the Continental Classic or whenever they're going to wrestle. But I think this is how we get there. He can't have what's the point of them having a singles match if Adam Copeland gets the win in this match? He's got to lose the first one, and then it sets up for the inevitable singles match between the two. Maybe for the TNT Championship, maybe not. But I think Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne are going to get the win.
So I'm going to go the opposite. I don't see Sting losing on his farewell tour, and I don't see the yoga instructor or Edge losing. I just don't see it happening. I think Copeland pins Christian Cage, and that's what leads to the TNT title match, and that gives Christian Cage the opportunity to win in the singles match because you can't double win. And I don't see Adam Copeland being the TNT champion. Doesn't make any sense to me and I think after Christian Cage beats him, then he moves on to MJF. So that's what I'm going with. All right, you ready? Most anticipated match on the card. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland in a Texas death match in California. I'm from California, and if I could tell you if there are two polar opposite states minus Florida, it's got to be Texas and California. Yeah. Holy guacamole. Who you got? What's going
on? I think I want it to be Swerve Strickland, but it's going to be this is going to be a a series. This is going to be a trifecta. There's going to be 3 matches in this.
All right.
And Swerve Strickland got the first win, and now I think Adam Page will get the second one, and then Swerve Strickland will end up winning the series, and then he'll move on. And I think he's going to face MJF next, or at least he should, to be the first African American AEW champion and do big things. I think he's got to get through Adam Page, and he will, but he's going to lose this match.
All right, so I fully agree with you. I think it'll be Hangman, and I think they are going to do a trilogy with Swerve wins. But when I talked about Ricky Starks and I talked about Hook, the third person on that list is Swerve Strickland. That dude can carry AEW as well. He is that damn good. He can wrestle anybody. He's great on the mic. He has a good look, and his theme song is probably better than Chris Jericho's, which is even, I don't even know how I could ever even say it's better than Judas, but holy crap, it's a good damn entrance song.
It is.
It's catchy. I think they should let Swerve win, though, because why not have him go 2-0? He'll look even that much stronger going 2-up on Hangman other than losing one. But
I think he should win, but I think Adam Page will win.
I think so. All right, we got MJF versus Jay White for Jay White's AEW World Championship title. Who you got?
I'm gonna go MJF. I think, but I think at the end the Devil will come out and help MJF and will reveal himself, and it'll be Adam Cole. But the only thing I don't understand with the Adam Cole thing is how does it get to Adam Cole versus MJF? That's the only I don't is MJF mad at Adam Cole for beating up everybody and hurting the Acclaimed, or I don't know. But either way, I think we're going to get MJF winning.
That's exactly how it happened. So MJF wins with the help of the Devil. He reveals himself. It's Adam Cole and all his homies. It's the whole entire Undisputed Era with the Kingdom 100%. And minus the short one that got fired. But I think it's MJF is going to say, hey, he's full babyface now. You've been telling me to get more friends. I got more friends. Now you're beating them all up, this and that. And then I think Adam Cole turns on him and leads to World's End MJF versus Adam Cole.
I'd be okay with that.
Where Adam Cole should probably win, to be honest with you, because Adam Cole cannot take another L in a World Championship match. So, all right.
Yeah.
Those are predictions. Really quick to end this show, I want to let you guys know that I will be at Full Gear this Saturday, tomorrow. So I will try to do some TikTok, some live things, talk about it. I'll post about it. And next week, it is Thanksgiving. For all you Americans out there, we are celebrating Thanksgiving.
That's us.
So that's us, America. So we are going to do some different episodes because we want to still air 2 next week. So Tuesday, we're going to do our WWE edition. We're going to cut out NXT. That way we can get our predictions in for Survivor Series. And then the following day, we're going to try to do our full gear reactions and whatever else we can squeeze in for AEW. So we won't have Dynamite, but we're going to do what we can, just so at least we can put out some product, because we know you guys will miss us. And it gives you guys something to watch while you're trying to hide from your family that you don't like on Thanksgiving and the day after.
Yeah.
So tune in next week. We'll be there. We'll have Full Gear, all that fun stuff. As always, keep subscribing. Do your thing. Keep loving us. We're blowing up again on YouTube. We're starting to catch fire again. Thank you. And my man right next to me, he'll introduce himself and he'll talk about what else you need to do. But as always, I'm the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO.
This is Shooting Star Press. Go follow us on all the platforms. We're on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. We're trying to grow our platform there. We're going to post some content probably for that here shortly. And yeah, we're growing on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple, everywhere you get your podcasts. So go rate us, go review us, go subscribe, all that fun stuff. Anything you guys can do to help crack the code that is algorithms these days, we greatly appreciate it. So
yes, sir.
We're trying to get there.
Trying. We're getting there. We're not even a year into this. Let's
go. Dudes with the attitudes, let's go. On the Friday, you know what it is. Man, they came to handle biz. 2 dudes with attitudes, and they came to get it in. If you want to hear it all,